Welcome, everyone. We are live. It's Wednesday. How did we get here already? That day in the middle of the week is so disruptive. It is. Let me get a sip of water. You see the topic. I was singing it already. Return to sender. This is a very important thing to grasp. The art of refusal, which means you polarize yourself, okay? Think about it. If there's something going on in your life, like uh, I read in a forum that somebody lives next door to someone who's in a cult. They live next door to someone who's in a cult, and they say this person's been terrorizing their lives. Now, return to sender. You see, all anyone has to do is to make you believe in something. And then you are at the mercy of what you believe. It is the way we are designed. You're at the mercy of what you believe. So you better believe something good because, you know. So, how do you refuse? Neville Goddard said, don't wish for anybody what you wouldn't want for yourself. Which means if you go outside on the front step and there's a package out there, and you look at it, you see the description and the label, and you're like, you know what? I don't want that. You put a line through it in RTS. You call somebody, they come back and they get it. No sweat lost, right? Well, that is exactly what you do when you have someone in your life who you feel is really bothering you. You don't waste time being upset about it, right? Why? Why? This is the art of refusal. Just saying, no, thank you. No. It's as simple as that. Remember in the Matrix when they were shooting at Neo and he put his hand up and he said, no. You do that psychologically. That's what you do. You do it psychologically. You say, you know how some people say, not today, devil. It's the same thing as saying no. But the moment you begin to engage in it, meaning you let it rile you up, trust me, I know all about being riled up. I know. I know all about being riled up. Uh-huh. Indeed. I do. How could you? How dare you? I go all Greta Thunberg on everybody. How dare you? And I've accepted it. And when you accept something, you accept everything that comes along with it. The stress, the worry, the fear, everything, because you said yes. And how did you say yes? By giving into it. So if there is something going on in your life, with people or things or whatever, and you do not want to participate in it, just say no. Literally, you open your mouth and you say, no. Oh, but Angela, that's too easy. Would you like it to be more difficult? Do you want to have a drawn out brawl? I'm sure you don't want that. You see how quickly you can say, no, I don't want to fight. I don't want to have a brawl. Yeah, see how easy that was to say no? There you have it. But you see what happens with us is we want to fight the injustice, which is a noble cause in itself. Who loves injustice? Nobody. We all want justice for all. Yes, because justice is, justice is nice. But you see, behind the justice, behind the justice, if it is going to turn you into something other than what you are supposed to be, you get up every day and you're consumed with it. You have no time for anybody else or anything else in your life because you are consumed with that thing. What is it doing to you? What is it doing to you? You fully engaged in it because it comes nicely gift wrapped as injustice. And we've all been taught to fight against injustice. But if you can remember a simple thing, that which you give your attention to thrives. So if you're giving your time and your attention to injustice, well, injustice must thrive. Injustice must prevail because you and I are giving our full attention to it. And we wonder why it prevails. Because we're all fighting against it. We're feeding it with our attention. So if you're walking and through your house and you're pacing, you're talking about, this person, blah, 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 blah. How come they didn't get their karma? How come blah, 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 blah. Oh, oh, you're feeding it. You are feeding it. And the more you feed it, the stronger it gets. The stronger it gets. Because remember, if you are feeding it with your attention, your essence, who weakens? The one not being fed is who weakens. And who's not being fed? Yeah, you. But for some strange reason, it makes us feel great to complain about the injustice, doesn't it? It makes us feel great to say, oh, can't wait for you to get yours. Jerk. That's what we say. All the while not actually seeing what is happening to you. So when you engage with something and you give it your attention, you are saying yes to it. And you're saying yes to every facet of it. So what do you want to say yes to? Listen, I'm not sitting here or laying here and telling you not to quote unquote fight against injustice. I am saying to you, how? One does not fight against. What you fight against will persist. Isn't that what they tell you? What you resist persists. Do you know why? I keep telling you why. Because you're feeding it with your attention. You're complaining. You are feeding your problem. And the more you feed your problem, the weaker you get. So how do you fix that? You fix it by polarizing yourself. How? Oh, but Angela, my diagnosis says I'm bipolar. What? Okay, you know what? I'm not even going to touch that one today. No, I'm not. But we have polarized ourselves towards the injustice. So to get away from it, you have to repolarize yourself towards justice. They are not the same. To turn your attention towards justice is not the same as fighting injustice. They do not look the same, and they do not feel the same, but they're often mistaken for the same thing. What makes them different? The intention behind it makes them different. Oh, you've been running around and hurting people. It's time for you to get justice. That's different from, oh, look, we're putting this thing together, We're teaching people how to focus their attention on what they want to be instead of what they don't want to be. We're teaching them how to not let emotional issues run their lives. Yes. No, yeah, those two things now. The intention behind the two things is what makes the difference. One you have accepted, and the other you've rejected. So you see, return to sender. Do not walk around this world and pick up other people's mental attitudes. You know, this is why they say misery loves company. Because it really is a lot to bear, and so we want to sprinkle it everywhere so that everybody else can help us carry it. But perhaps what is better is to not pick it up in the first place. And to not pick it up is to comprehend that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. People will tell you about themselves. If they tell you that you're rude, you're a jerk, how do they know? They're drawing an experience from a previous encounter. Listen, if you want to be a jerk, go ahead. I can't stop you from being a jerk, but everybody handles cause and effect. Everybody will encounter it. So I don't have to punish you for being a jerk. Of course not. Why should I? That's not my job. My name is not cause. My name is not effect. I'll stay in my lane, thank you. And what is my lane? To live deliberately using those principles. Not to be over here talking about, oh, you. Well, I'll make you pay. What? You'll be making yourself pay. Hello? How will you be making yourself pay? Because the thing you are focused upon does not care who you have it directed towards. It is irrelevant who it is directed towards. What is relevant is who is it directed through. It's directed through you, so you're the one to bear the brunt. See, but we don't see that part, huh? Well, we think we're exempt. You're not exempt, darling, from the law, from the principles. You might like to think you are, but you are not. None of us are. Because the law does not care. The law doesn't have feelings. It is simply cause and effect. It is simply correspondence, rhythm, polarity, gender. That is all it is. Mentalism. That's all it is. It just turns. That's all it does. So don't walk around and pick up offenses like they're dollar bills. Eh? Do not pick that stuff up. Think about how light your life would be if you walked through the day, and trust me, I know. I know full well because when I get behind the wheel of that car, sometimes there's always a nutmeg, and I say, oh, God, can I just encounter better driving? Why do I need to cuss somebody out all the time and lean on my horn? Get out of the way, jerk. Yeah. This is why I tell you I know what it is to be riled up, okay? But your girl is working on it. So that when I get in the car, my attitude is polarized somewhere else. So that because where I am polarized is what I will experience. If I get in the car and I'm like, oh God, here we go now. Here we go again. There's a jerk on the road. Where am I polarized? I'll find every single jerk on the road there is. And the only jerk I want in my life is my jerk chicken. But you know what? I digress. So where you are polarized, what you are complaining about, brace yourselves now, because you will experience it. You've caught yourself saying, oh my God, what a day I've had. How many people did I run into that were just cranky? Hmm. Who was the first cranky one? You may not have started out cranky, but you did not return to sender the crankiness. Return to sender. You don't want that. Pardon me. You don't want that. You just say, hey, no, I'll polarize myself somewhere else. Thank you. And then you feel yourself slipping because you know how sometimes it feels good to engage in the insanity. Oh, yes. Sometimes it really does feel good. But at what cost? At what cost? Hmm? At what cost? Oh, but they did this. Who did this to you? Who's they? You have the right of refusal, darling. No, they. Yeah, but they forced. They what now? No, you allowed yourself to be pulled into it. And listen, there's no shame and there's no blame in that. But what we do with it is we learn from it. That's what we do. We learn and we say, I've been there, done that. Shoot, I got a t-shirt somewhere in the back of my closet. That's all it is. And we're going to encounter it. And some days we forget ourselves, but that's okay. Every day is a day of remembering. Hmm. So what you gonna do? What are you going to do, my friends? Are you gonna practice the art of refusal? You see, because it looks on the surface like it's just saying no. But it is not just saying no. It is the art of polarizing yourself. And the better you get at polarizing yourself, the more control you have over your life experiences. That way, you're not at the mercy of somebody else's mood. Why? Because you are spending your time cultivating your own mood, thereby making you immune to the moods of others, unless you want to participate in their mood. See how powerful you are? But you're sitting here thinking, oh, somebody else has power over me. Nobody has power over you, darling. You have to give it. You have to give it. How do you give your power to somebody? When you engage with something that you know is a bad idea. You know how sometimes they say, oh, take my money. You see a little gadget or a gizmo, he's like, oh, this is so nice, take my money. You know how you say that? Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, but not with a product, but with something psychological. Indeed. Sometimes I often wonder, if there was nothing to fight for, would we even know how to live? I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. Would we know how to live if we didn't have anything to fight for? And then we chuckle at silly talking about all my life I had to fight. Because that's what we're taught to do. We've not been taught to be peaceful. Because allegedly, peacefulness is seen as a weakness. Hmm. This water sure is tasty. I'll drink water and mind my business. Hello. So, what are you going to do? Will you get up every day and allow your sanity to just be preoccupied with trivialities? And what do I mean when I say trivialities? Those things, they just came across your mind and you said it. Yeah, those are trivialities. Who's in power? Listen to what we say. Who's in power? It better be you. You better be in power over your own existence. So today, my beautiful friends, what are you going to do? Will you allow yourself, will you let yourself be dragged around by your emotions? Or will you comprehend? You see, you don't try and control the emotion. Emotions are effects, and every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. Yes? So emotions are just effects. They're just effects. They are a result of something. So look at the cause. The cause. Look at the cause. If you're going to allow everything you hear and see to drag you around, well, then you're in for a very bumpy ride. So just say no. You say, return to sender. I don't want that. And if you don't want that, well, then what do you want? So polarize yourself in the direction of what you want. Okay, listen. People talk about bipolar all the time. Observe. Bipolar, meaning two poles. So they're either going to be manic or they're going to be depressed. You understand? Manic or depressed. Bipolar, there's two poles. So we know what polarity is. Don't get it twisted. But you have to ask yourself, why? What is causing the mania? What is causing the depression? Same thing is causing it. It only has one source. And you see, we have to remember that the body always shows you what is going on inside the mind. Fear and anxiety will bring about the mania. But the fear and the anxiety also will bring about the depression. So this is why you deal with things psychologically. Those same thoughts. And we remember what a habit is, don't we? Something you do the same way every time. So if you have made it a habit to be afraid and wondering, what if? Oh my God, but what if? Blah, blah, blah. Or you've made it a habit to say, why bother? Why bother? You see, it's the same thing the same way every time. You've made a habit of mania and depression. So every time something triggers you, anxiety, we act how? The only way you can. Every cause has its effect. So the cause of anxiety brings about an effect, which is felt in the body. It would not be in your body if it were not in your mind. Hello? As within, so without. But because the doctor says, oh, that's all in your mind. Listen, when he tells you that, you say, thank you for reminding me because you're right. And you look for the thought that you've engaged in incessantly, and you will see the results in your body. So, what does that have to do with returning to sender? What do you allow yourself to mentally engage in? Don't. Oh, Angela, that's so easy for you to say, because you're not living my life. There's nothing you can tell me, Angela, because it's just a hogwash anyway. Look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and comprehend that you do not have to engage in every single tussle there is, because that is exhausting. So simply say, return to sender. Just say no. Me no want that. Just say no thanks. I'm good. Do you know why? Because when you say return to sender, the one who is sending it has to take it back for themselves. So this is why Don't want for somebody what you don't want for them, for yourself. Because why? If they say no thanks, who has to get it? You. And do you want it? You want it? If you wanted it in the first place, you wouldn't have sent it to somebody else. So you see, none of us can escape it. Don't think for one moment we can sit here and say, "Ah, I can't stand this heifer. She drives me crazy. I don't like her." Ugh. Yeah, you see that? Seems so innocent, does it? It seems so innocent. But what happens? The moment somebody mentally stronger says, no thank you, it comes right back to you because there are no voids. Cause and effect will tell you, correspondence will tell you as within, so without. It's not just as within. It's not just as without. It says as within, so without, as above, so below. There is no hole or void anywhere. So if you send it and it is refused, it has to come back to you. So now, my beautiful friends, check yourself. So before you send something out to somebody, ask yourself, if they say no, well, let's put it in terms of chocolate, shall we? If you like chocolate. Put it in terms of something you would like. If you say, ooh, I would love me some of this, well, give it. Because if they don't accept it, you get it back for yourself, you know? But don't put poop in a bag and tell me it's chocolate chip cookies. Because if I open it and say, no, thanks, you are now going to get that back. So you see, your mental attitude always comes back to you. This is why spite is such a danger. Spitefulness. Oh, well, maybe you should go through the same thing I went through, and then perhaps you wouldn't have so much to say. Spite. You do not have to suffer to know that suffering is vile. So why wish it upon someone else? You see, we all do the same thing. So return to sender. If you do not want to engage in something, like we tell people if you're in an audio room and you can't handle what's there, just click on that little button that says leave quietly. Yeah. Just say, you know what? I don't want to participate in that. But you see, some of us, oh, we do love a good bit of drama, don't we? But if you make a habit of indulging in drama, well, then you'll wake up every day and you will have drama, my friends. Is that what you want? Then say, return to sender. No, thank you. I don't want that drama. Pull a Patrice and drink water and mind my business. It's as simple as that. It really is. Try it sometime. And that's the beautiful thing about living, is it not? We always have the ability to practice. We can pull a Barry White. Telling me this, telling me that. He says, practice what you preach. Practice what you preach. Preach what you practice. So today, my beautiful friends, as we go out into this world and we encounter situations and people, do not judge what you have encountered. Don't be out here in these streets talking about, why me, Lord? Why you punishing me? No, stop that. Look at the situation. And if you see that you are going through the same thing, the same way, every time, well, then you have just discovered your hidden habit. And what are you going to do with that habit now that you know what it is? You will make a new one, something that is better because you want a different result. So you have to form a different habit. And how do you form a different habit? By recognizing where you are at present and what you're doing. Ooh, I am so over time this morning. Recognize where you are and what you are doing. And when you see it, you can ask yourself, is this adequate? Is this what I want? And you will say, no. And when you say, no, I don't want that, then, because remember, as within, so without, as above, so below, there is always fullness, no void anywhere. So if you say, I don't want that, you cannot just say, I don't want that. You must replace it with something. And that means you have to choose what you want to experience. And when you choose what you want to experience, you begin to experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality. You begin to feel it. You say, oh, yes, if I was living that, oh my God, that would be so great, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. And I'd be doing this, and I'd be doing this, and I'd be having a great time. See, practice that. Polarize yourself in that direction. And to make your life simpler, just choose one thing that you know you would be doing. Just one. Don't go with 4 and 5 and 6 because then your attention is pulled in many different places and you want the attention singularly focused. So just pick the one thing you know for sure that you would be doing in reality. And you rehearse it mentally. And when you start to rehearse it mentally, know that you are doing this. Know that you are practicing something, and that which you practice, you will perform. How do I know? Do you think gymnasts and tennis players practice incessantly on the court and in the gym all day, every day, so they can do something else? No. They practice that thing incessantly so they can do it. And for ease of remembering, it is called muscle memory. Why is it called muscle memory? Because that which you rehearse is forming a neurological pathway in your brain. Over and over and over again. So that's why for step 3, you will know that the thing you're practicing is inevitable for you to perform. So you don't have to, well, I sure hope this is going to turn out. You don't have to do that. Not in the least bit. Why not? Because you know what you're doing. You know that the thing you practice is forming a mental pathway so that you can shut your eyes and do it. And you can do it like the back of your hand. And do you know how and why that happens? Because you have practiced. And this is why you are encouraged to not grow weary in your practice. You do not practice and keep asking, well, when do I get to play it? When I get to play my part? Just practice and you will encounter the stage on which to play your part. If you have to keep asking, when do I get to play my part? Then you're not ready to play the part because you haven't rehearsed long enough. So keep practicing. And there will come a time, if you pay attention, you will see that you're no longer practicing, but you're doing it. Always the example, whether it is driving, playing a sport, learning a new art, you'll realize, oh my gosh, I have practiced this so much that I forgot I was practicing. I was just doing it. How cool am I? Yeah. Have fun with the practice. That is the best part, is it not? The best part of anything is the rehearsal of it. Think about that. And the same intensity and passion that you practice with, well, that is the same level of intensity that you will perform with. Oh, you can try to tell me I'm wrong. But if you learn how to read between the lines, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. You think it has anything to do with... Because you can go through every single experience in your life where you practiced something and then had to play it out. Oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do that. Yes, and I'm going to do it like this. Just showing you what life is and how we do it and how to do it deliberately, though. So remember, you can simply say, no, thank you, return to sender. Somebody might think you're crazy, but that's all right. If you're going to encounter somebody and you say, oh, you know what? I don't want to participate in that. You put your shield up and say, oh, return to sender. And you walk away from that thing and say, no, I refuse to participate in that madness. And watch and see how light your life becomes. Watch and see how free your mind becomes. Anywho, don't let me keep you here yakety yakking. Who's with us this morning? Well, I know that my lovely Liza is on YouTube. For some reason, I wasn't on YouTube yesterday. But I was live. It's on Facebook and it's on Twitter. But for some reason, I didn't stream to YouTube yesterday. You know what? But we're there today, aren't we? You got to pay attention, Angela. We do. So I don't know who else is there in these YouTube streets, but I know you're there, my lovely Liza. Twitter, well, Twitter is for the replay gang, as always. Isn't it, though? And we've got the lovely Miss McQueen. Big Mike. I want to go, oh. Every time I do it, I just love you. You're awesome. And we've got my sweet KZ. Uh, you're new. I am COD. Oh, okay. Well, hello and welcome to the space. Oh, Summer Rose. Hello, darling. And then Blessings. Oh, well, I haven't seen you in a hot minute, sugar. I have not seen you in a hot minute. Welcome back. Well, I am COD. Um, Early in the morning like this, pop it in the chat for me because I don't stay very long because I've got to get to work. But um, you can definitely ask that question in the chat if you like. Oh, your name is Cody. Um, yeah, drop your question in the chat, and I will definitely answer it for you. Take your time; it's okay. I will do what I do best, natter on. Um, so as you go through your day today, remember, you do not always have to participate in everything. No, not in the least bit. You don't have to. You can say no, thank you. Of course you can. Cody, I hope you're typing away. I hope you're typing away, son. um, but yes, that's definitely what it is. Take your time and pay attention. And that's why I say all the time, pardon me, I've been eating here sipping this water. Don't want to belch like a man. Oh shoot, because I am a lady. Oh my goodness. No, you just simply pay attention without judgment. Don't beat yourself up if you've made a mistake. Just go cut and do it again. Because it's the judgment that brings about the tainting of things. Judgment blinds the eye and deafens the ear, because then you can't see the real thing. Right? Then you can't see the real thing. Cody, did you DM me that question or did you put that question in the chat, darling? Because, and a lot of the reasons why I don't uh, do it live for people, because it is streamed on multiple platforms and not everybody wants to be heard on multiple platforms. So I just keep it the same for everybody. Okay? Oh, sometimes I don't be feeling motivated to do stuff, maybe because of some work trauma. But for real, it's affecting me and I don't know how to come out of it. Aha. Oh, what a beautiful question this is. It all has to do with being in the mood. It has to do with the mood. You see, we don't ever force ourselves to do anything. It is the mood. How do you get in the mood? You get in the mood by simply asking, oh, what's the end result of this thing here? What is the end result that you want to experience? And see, that end result is just one answer. Uh, uh, it's not a convoluted thing. It's just one answer. What do you want to do instead? If you say, oh, I just am not motivated. I don't want to do anything. You see, motivation and mood go together. Yes, hello. So if you say, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to lay here. I want to do something. Yes, but what? You've got to give yourself the thing to do. That's why I say you can't have a void. If you say, I don't want to be lazy, and because it's actually that you're not lazy, you're just not in the mood. You say, I don't want to do this. Then what do you want to do instead? That is the question to answer. When you answer the question of what you want to do instead, then the desire becomes stirred up within you, and you will say, oh, yes, and you'll get up and you'll do it. Should it be more difficult? No, it should be just as simple as that. We all face it. We all deal with it. If you do not like what you are doing at present, do not judge yourself to say, oh, God, I should know better. No, it's not. You shouldn't know better. You should know what you want to do instead. But Angela, I don't know what I want to do. Of course you do. You do know what you want to do. How do I know? Because you want to feel a particular way. So if you want to feel a particular way, then what you do will bring about that feeling. So you don't always have to know what you want to do, but you have to know, well, good morning, sugar. You have to know what you want to feel like. And what you want to feel like will drive you. It will move you to act. And once you know what that particular way is that you want to feel it. Well, you can bring on that feeling at will. You can bring on the feeling at will. Can you not? We all can. And how do you bring on the feeling at will? By imagining what you'd be doing. By simply imagining what you would be doing. When you imagine what you would be doing, the feeling goes right hand in hand with that. Think about that for a moment. When you say, well, I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I know how I want to feel. I want to feel like, don't tell me how you want to feel how you want. Of course it is a bit challenging, Cody. Of course it's challenging because we're learning how to do it. That's the only reason why it's challenging at first. But here's something. It is actually a lot easier than you think it is because you already do it. If I call somebody's name that perhaps you don't like, you'll have a feeling right away, won't you? Was that hard to bring about that feeling? No, because just the mere thought of that person that you can't stand made you feel. Well, you can do it in the other direction. Bring about the feeling that you want to have by thinking of the thing you want to experience. And you'll get the feeling. You will invoke the feeling. Does that make more sense? You see, sometimes we make it a little bit too complex. And the thing here is to observe and know that you are already doing it. You see, there's that scripture, right? That says if a man lusts in his heart after a woman, he's already committed the act. You see, that scripture is dripping with judgment because it makes people feel like they're adulterers or they're fornicators. But that scripture is showing you the principle of correspondence. It is just simply using what is most basic to humanity, sex. It says, if a man lusts in his heart after a woman, he has already committed the act. How do you know? Mind you, it's not a condemnation. That's what I'm trying to say to you. That scripture is showing you the principle of correspondence. It is showing you that what you imagine within will show up on the outside. Funny you should say it's hard. Tongue in cheek is what I'm getting at here. I'm trying to be as coy as possible without being offensive. Um, when you see somebody who's pretty or you see somebody who's handsome, sometimes there'll be a stirring. Will there not be? Again, there's no judgment there. I'm asking you to look at your life experiences. You've gone somewhere, like yesterday, we were picking up some pizza. Let me tell you something. I have never seen shorts that short and that tight in my life. I said, oh, listen, it was cold outside for one. And two, I said, oh Lord, honey, you leaving the house with all your ass out? Oh my goodness. And let me tell you, she did turn heads. Oh, she did in more ways than one. But she did. As within, so without. She put those pants on because she wanted to feel a particular way. She wanted to feel however she wanted to feel, beautiful, whatever. She put them on because she knows that it's popping, right? So she put them on. As within, so without. Somebody observed those pants and they had a feeling too. You see, we live these experiences on a daily basis. And we think that because it's such a mundane thing, that it's not law. It is. Because the fact that I even commented, because I was in shock. I said, "Ooh, I think my butt got cold just, just watching them shorts." I was like, "Oh," and my favorite color too. Like, how cruel! But I felt cold just watching. How could you not be, right? But that's what I mean when I say we see things and there is something that is stirred up within us to either speak or to catcall or to whatever. You respond by way of the mood that you are in. There's no way around that. So we always know how we want to feel. So if you know how you want to feel, don't tell me how you want to feel. I want you to feel it. Because when you feel how you want to feel, there's a whole cascade of a chemical reaction inside your body. Like the guy who came through my till the other day, sometime last week. And he said, "Yeah, I'm just going to go home and pretend I'm happy." I said, "Funny thing that." I said, "There's more to that, you know." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Even if you are frowning, okay, and you watch somebody who walked by you and they smiled, your body's gonna be triggered and it will release endorphins, all because you saw them smile. You don't have to smile yourself. You just have to observe a smile and your body will respond in the way that smiles make you feel." He goes, "Really?" I said, "Yes." He said, "But you know what? I feel better now that you told me that." I said, "Everything is meant for you to prosper, son." So I said, "You could be in the darkest of places, but just let a sliver of light in, and that whole light will illuminate you." And he goes, "Well, I got to come back to hear more." I said, "Anytime I'll be here, sweetness." I said, "I'll be here anytime." You see, those things that we think are so challenging, just embrace the principles. Um, it's not that I know the right things to say, Cody dearest. It's not that I know the right things to say. It is that I comprehend because we are alive and we live, but we've not been taught to truly live. We judge ourselves so much. And in that judgment, when I say that judgment blinds the eye and deafens the ear, it stops us from learning. Do you know that's why I use that scripture? Because that scripture is used to browbeat many a people, when in actuality, that scripture is there to show you the principle of correspondence. As within, so without. So the way that you feel on the inside is the way you will act on the outside. And the reason why, especially when it ends and it says he has already committed it, what do you mean? He hasn't touched her. How can he already have committed the act if he hasn't touched her? Because the way you feel causes you to act. That's what it means. That's why the feeling is so important. Once you get the feeling of what that is that you want to become, you don't have a choice but to act it out. So that's why that scripture would say, if he lusts in his heart after a woman, he's already committed the act. The moment you feel it, you've done it because the body responds. That's what it means. But you see, we judge and we condemn, all the while stopping ourselves from actually learning. Because you know as well as I know that if you walk down the street and you see a Slim Thick somewhere, or a Henry Cavill somewhere, or an Idris Elba, you're like, "Ooh, you didn't touch them. So how could you have committed an act? You know that that's not what happened. You didn't say anything. So what else could it possibly have meant? It means that as within, so without. And this is why one should always check themselves. We do not cast aspersions on another. Oh, but you're wicked, you're evil. No, 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 no. Check the self. Because what is within the self is what the self will do. Does that make sense? I'm Cody. Let me see. Let me make sure I follow you. Uh so that you can always DM me if you've got more questions. So thank you for taking this time, because I got to go to work too, but thank you for taking the time to ask. Melly Mel is in a house. Thank you for taking the time, dearest. I'll be here. You can always slide into my DMs if you've got more questions. So peace out to you and enjoy the day. And remember, my beautiful friends, we can always say, return to sender. You do not have to participate in things that you do not want to participate in mentally. Yes? Anywho, you know that I love you. And I will see you again right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Fanbase, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. And as always, my DMs are open like 7-Eleven. My DMs are open and I will respond. Okay, as time permits, I will respond. So, with that, Fanbase, we always close last with you, don't fret. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love to each and every one of you. K-Frame, hey. Hey, K-Frame, it's good to see you. And you know who we haven't seen in a while? Is Double A. Double A Vibes. We haven't seen him here in these YouTube streets for a bit. But I did see him, though. Not here, but I did see him. Anywho, I love you and I will see you soon. Mwah. Much love to you all.